For more, we can speak now to Bushra Khalidi, who is the policy lead at Oxfam, who joins us from Ramallah. Thank you so much for joining us. 10 days ago, Oxfam warned that a total siege on Gaza would result in a humanitarian catastrophe. Is that now the reality, would you say?
Absolutely. This is a crisis of unprecedented proportions. The people in Gaza are enduring a nightmare, and they're facing the dual threats of violence, but also now deprivation. The heart-wrenching stories we're hearing from Gaza point a really grim picture of the suffering. My family is in Gaza. They're struggling to find shelter. Children have been separated from their parents. People are making perilous journeys in search of safety. People are leaving everything behind with no clear destination or assurance of safety. There is no water. There is no electricity. There's no fuel. It's an absolute nightmare.
It sounds horrific. Just before we crossed you, we watched this report about this third convoy of aid that entered Gaza via the Rafah crossing today. But clearly nowhere near enough for 2 million people. Will there be more convoys?
Yeah, well, I'd like to first contextualize. Gaza has been under a tighter siege, but it has been living under siege for the last 16 years, actually an illegal siege. For the last 16 years, it's known wars in 2007 and 2008 and in 2009 and in 2014 and in 2017 and 2021 and 22 and now 2023. So while aid flow remains important, it's critical to recognize that there's no amount of that can fully compensate for the consequences of cutting off safe water and fuel and electricity to 2 million and 2.2 million people, of which half are children, putting them at risk of cholera, of deadly diseases, pushing Gaza to the brink because of the fuel that is not being currently allowed in, endangering essential services, hospitals, wastewater treatment plants, pumping stations for water. Everything is at its knees without fuel in Gaza. Aid doesn't compensate either for doctors and nurses performing surgeries in the dark with the torch of their phones. Hospitals are mostly run on fuel in Gaza. They need medical teams as well. They don't need just aid. They need medical teams to help the doctors that have been working around the clock. We're talking about more than 5,000 Palestinians killed, 62% of which are women and children.
Yeah, tremendous suffering. And I just want to ask you for your opinion on what a ground invasion would change. There's been a lot of talk about this imminent ground invasion by Israel of the Gaza Strip. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we're led to believe it's going to be very soon. What do you think that will change from the point of view of the relief effort there?
We have been calling for an immediate ceasefire for the last almost week. Actually, 400 organizations have called for a ceasefire so that aid can be delivered, so that we can access affected communities, so that our partners can operate their cars to help us with the delivery of aid. People have nowhere to go. They're scared. Bombardments have been near constant, and they've not just been in the north. They have been across the Gaza Strip. People will be afraid to leave their homes to go get the aid so without a ceasefire, my colleague, sent me a message yesterday, and he said, without a ceasefire, humanitarian aid without a ceasefire is like killing us on a full stomach.
Sure. And just lastly, if you could just tell us briefly for our viewers what Oxfam's role has been in this and what the primary needs are right now on the ground in Gaza.
Gaza needs everything. Gaza needs food. Gaza needs electricity. Gaza needs water. Gaza needs fuel. We were able to deliver hygiene kits through a partner of ours. We've partnered with 2 emergency partners. But again, these people are our partners, and our colleagues are going through, trying to survive the day. So implementation is a real challenge. And our work is reconstruction of water infrastructure. We provide food. We support farms. That's kind of like the scope of our work. But I mean, right now we're not there yet. We need a political solution. We need a ceasefire. So that we can start rebuilding, and we need a long-term solution that addresses the root causes of a military occupation and illegal blockade.
Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Bushra Khalidi, policy lead at Oxfam in Ramallah. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us, and good luck with your work.
Thank you.